Few structures of the human anatomy are as unique as the hand. The hand needs to be mobile in order to position the fingers and thumb. The hand must have adequate strength to grip objects firmly, but must also be coordinated to perform fine motor tasks with precision. Let's define some common anatomic terms as they relate to the hand. This will make it clearer as we talk about the structures of the hand later. The front or palm side of the hand is referred to as the palmar side. The back of the hand is called the dorsal side. The half of the hand from the middle finger to the thumb is called the radial side. The other half is called the ulnar side. There are 27 bones within the wrist and hand. The wrist itself contains 8 small bones called carpals. The carpals join with the 2 forearm bones, the radius and ulna, forming the wrist joint. Further into the palm, the carpals connect to the metacarpals. There are 5 metacarpals forming the palm of the hand. 1 metacarpal connects to each finger and thumb. Small bone shafts called phalanges line up to form each finger and thumb. The main knuckle joints are formed by the connections of the phalanges to the metacarpals. These joints are called the metacarpophalangeal joints, or MCP joints. The MCP joints work like a hinge when you bend and straighten your fingers and thumb. The 3 phalanges in each finger are separated by 2 joints, called interphalangeal joints, or IP joints. The one closest to the MCP joint is called the proximal IP joint, or the PIP joint. The joint near the end of the finger is called the distal IP joint, or DIP joint. The thumb only has 1 IP joint between the 2 thumb phalanges. The IP joints of the digits also work like hinges when you bend and straighten your fingers and thumb. The joints of the hand, fingers, and thumb are covered on the ends with articular cartilage. This white shiny material has a rubbery consistency. The function of articular cartilage is to absorb shock and provide an extremely smooth surface to facilitate motion. There is articular cartilage essentially everywhere that 2 bony surfaces move against one another or articulate. Ligaments are tough bands of tissue that connect bones together. 2 important structures called collateral ligaments are found on either side of each finger and thumb joint. The function of the collateral ligaments is to prevent abnormal sideways bending of each joint. In the PIP joint, the middle joint between the main knuckle and the DIP joint, the strongest ligament is the volar plate. This ligament connects the proximal phalanx to the middle phalanx on the palmar side of the joint. The ligament tightens as the joint is straightened and keeps the PIP joint from bending back too far or hyperextending. Finger deformities can occur when the volar plate loosens from disease or injury. Many of the muscles that control the hand start at the elbow or forearm. They run down the forearm and cross the wrist and hand. Some control only the bending or straightening of the wrist. Others influence motion of the fingers or thumb. Many of these muscles help position and hold the wrist and hand while the thumb and fingers grip or perform fine motor actions. The tendons that allow each finger joint to straighten are called the extensor tendons. The extensor tendons of the fingers begin as muscles that arise from the backside of the forearm bones. These muscles travel towards the hand where they eventually connect to the extensor tendons before crossing over the back of the wrist joint. The flexor tendons allow the fingers and thumb to flex or bend to grip objects in the palm of the hand. The strong flexor muscles begin in the forearm, and just before they enter the wrist, the flexor muscles form the flexor tendons. The flexor tendons travel through the carpal tunnel, through the palm, and 2 tendons each travel into the volar side of each finger.